A better look on campus of the weather this afternoon.
Well, and an update on the main water line that burst earlier this week. Coming up next on Murrow News 8.
From the Northwest Public Broadcasting Studios on the campus of Washington State University, this is Murrow News 8.
Good evening, I'm Adon Martinez.
And I'm Alfonso Valdivia. Welcome to Murrow News 8. Well, when I woke up this morning, it was sunny, but on the way to the newsroom, there was snow. We sent our Murrow News 8 reporter, Bradley Gordon, for a better look outside. Bradley?
So this morning, we had some beautiful weather, but as you can see now, it is starting to snow. It's around 1:15 o'clock today, so it might slow down later, but as far as I can tell, it is not going to stop anytime soon. I'm Bradley Gordon from Murrow News 8. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Bradley. Pullman City Council collectively approved to raise taxes to fund street repairs. We sent our live reporter Luke Doden on the story. Luke?
Thanks, Alfonso. I'm out here on Merman Drive in apartment land, where, as you can see behind me, the road has plenty of problems with it. The tax increase will come in the form of a 1% increase to the sales tax, which the city of Pullman believes could raise over $500,000 a year. Reporting in Pullman, I'm Luke Doughton, Murrow News 8. Back to you guys at the desk.
The water line that was ruptured Sunday hasn't been fully repaired yet. However, the low water pressure that some Pullman businesses were struggling with earlier this week is officially restored. Authorities were able to repair the water to the businesses around the main line.
Well, an update in Boise about the triple murder trial of a mother accused to kill her 2 children. Graphic photos showing the children's remains as they were excavated from her husband's property were shown to Idaho jurors yesterday night. Her trial began this month, and despite that, she's still pleading not guilty. But if convicted, she could spend life in prison.
Investigators around found belongings of the victims of the Brian Koberg situation in Kaylee Goncalves' car and in Brian Koberger's residence. 6 images were found in Kaylee Goncalves' car of the 4 victims and the ID of one of the victims in Brian Koberger's residence. Koberger remains incarcerated in Idaho, awaiting his first hearing on June 26th.
The U of I Giving Day was April 4th and 5th and happened to be a record-breaking fundraiser for the Vandals. In just 2 days, the event raised $819,000 for the university from just under 2,000 donations. The school said most of its donations had come from students.
We are knee-deep into Cougs Give, a one-day fundraiser set aside to expand, share, and celebrate the impact of donor support at WSU. Over 25 registered groups have donated, with donations continuing to come from all over the U.S. If you want to make a donation yourself, head over to cougsgive.wsu.edu. Stay tuned to learn more on the proposed law that would allow the distribution of abortion pills.
Well, that and more coming up after the break.
It's okay to be scared. You don't have to be so strong.
Strength is not optional. This is my mother, my purpose. Real muscle is lifting her spirits between bedpans and bad news from doctors that doubt her strength. Strength is buried in bills, managing meds, and swallowing those moments of, Mom, it's me, your daughter. Remember? My strength is super, but I'm still human, right?
Look who's here. There she is. Thanks for your patience.
How you feel?
If you're caring for a loved one, visit aarp.org/caregiving for care guides and community, or call 1-877-333-5885.
The Washington Department of Corrections is preparing to implement a proposed law that would allow to distribute abortion pills. This comes in the make of contradictory federal court rulings about the drug Eurostone. The purchase of the drug was made late March for over $1 million. According to the Governor Inslee, Washington has enough supply for this drug for 4 years.
Well, Pullman Regional Hospital is hosting a women's wellness Q&A later tonight. The coffee house style combo promises to provide participants with a wealth of information in addition to having their questions answered. The session will be held at the Scusi Pasta restaurant starting at 5:30 p.m. and will run until 6:30 p.m. Men are also encouraged to attend, and the event is free for everyone. Well, I'm trying to sit outside at the Cook tonight. Sydney, what's the weather going to look like?
Alfonso, it's funny that you asked that because if you asked me a couple hours ago when I was outside with Bradley, I probably would have told you that you should stay inside. But it is cleared up, and honestly, there's no sign of snow outside. The sun was peeking through the clouds, and it really looked like a nice Pullman afternoon. We're going to take a look at tonight. It's going to be 30 degrees tonight, so if you do want to go sit outside, make sure you bring a bigger jacket. The winds are a little bit tamer, but tomorrow they're going to kick up. So we're going to look at tomorrow. It's going to be a little bit warmer, but the winds are higher, like I mentioned, 15 miles per hour. We had some higher winds on Monday, so we're going to expect a little bit of that, and it's a little bit of that cooler chill. We're going to look at the state map next, and I went ahead and pulled up some of tomorrow's forecasts. So on the eastern side of the state, Spokane is looking a little bit warmer than Pullman, which is pretty obvious, we're pretty used to, but the center of the state is where I want to be, 60 degrees in Tri-Cities, which looks awesome, and the typical rain that we see on the western side of the state in Olympia and Seattle. Back to that 5-day forecast, I'm excited to talk about Sunday a little bit because it's going to be the warmest we've seen in a couple days, and I'm looking forward to that. The weekend's going to be awesome. Thursday and Friday, 48, but the sun will peek through those clouds. So if you have any events, a light jacket, but stay outside, get that Pullman sunshine before the semester is over, and yeah, we'll send it back to you guys at the desk.
Up next, Cougar baseball is underway on the west side.
Well, and a new court for Cougar volleyball. We'll tell you how it will keep the team healthier up next.
Dad, they took over my bedroom. Come on, come on. Okay, Dad. 1, 2, 3. Dad! You saved me. Dad?
Are you okay?
I'm fine, dear.
Your hero needs you now, and AARP is here to help. Find the care guides you need at aarp.org/caregiving.
WSU baseball is playing at Seattle U right now, and the Cougs are leading 7-1 in the fourth. They enter this non-conference matchup with an 18-12 record, and Seattle sits at 10-19. When they faced off earlier this season at Bailey Brayton, WSU came out on top 8-2. Staying with WSU, Bowler Gym's got an all-new look. Austin Samuels takes us inside.
The WSU volleyball team put their newly renovated gym floor to the test on Sunday, hosting the University of Montana in a spring exhibition game, their first on the new floor. The major renovations to Bowler are the first in decades, headlined by the permanent not so hardwood.
You know, this new TerraFlex floor, it's state of the art, and to have it down permanently is amazing so that we get to practice on it as well as compete.
The new TerraFlex floor is designed with a cushiony layer underneath, which allows for softer impacts of up to 35% compared to the normal hardwood. It's intended for injury prevention and is well suited for volleyball.
I know the players absolutely love it. You know, it's just a little easier on your joints, and you know, sport of volleyball is weird because you're on the floor a lot as well. And
as of now, the renovations to Bowler Gym are only partly complete.
Now, on top of the new gym floor, the newly renovated gym will also include more permanent bleachers surrounding both sidelines and will also include horseshoe seating surrounding the west baseline as well.
The final renovations to Bowler Gym will be finished over the summer, just in time for fall semester and next season. In Pullman, I'm Austin Samuels, Murrow, News 8.
On to the pros. The Mariners took down the Cubs a couple hours ago with a final tally of 5-2. Chicago cashed a run in the first inning and led until Seattle posted 2 runs in the third to take command. The next score was Crawford in the 7th, and the 8th inning brought 2 home runs. Hernandez drove one left center, and Kellenic bombed his 482 feet for the second longest ball at Wrigley since 2015 and for a 3-game homer streak. Chicago couldn't make another run until the bottom of the 9th, and the Mariners took home their only win of the series. It's NBA playoff time, and if you didn't catch the games last night, you sure missed out. Starting with the Eastern Conference, the Hawks cruised past the Heat for a final of 116-105 to secure the 7th seed. Trae Young led the Hawks with 25 points, and Clint Capella hauled in a monster 21 rebounds. The Hawks hit the road Saturday afternoon to face one of the scariest teams in the league in the 2-seeded Boston Celtics. Miami has one more chance to advance when they play the winner between Chicago and Toronto, which tipped off today at 4. In the Western Conference, the Lakers recovered from a 15-point deficit for an overtime win against the Timberwolves 108-102. A 30-piece for LeBron and double-doubles from both the King and Anthony Davis led the effort. LA faces Memphis on Sunday, and Minnesota will have to prove it against the winner between OKC and New Orleans tonight.
Coming up, WSU Zeus S. Furry residents are rolling out of bed.
We'll tell you the very good news after the break.
1 in 3 adults has pre-diabetes. 1 in 3. That means it could be you, your favorite brother, your other brother, you, yes, your football buddy, your football buddy, you, the boss's boss. If 1 in 3 adults has pre-diabetes, that means it could be you, your barber, your barber's barber.
Nice work.
Thanks.
You, your plumber,
Breathe right into your foot.
your plumber's masseuse.
Yes.
You, your dog walker,
On your left.
your cat jogger. Or you, your co-pilot, your co-pilot's co-pilot. While 1 in 3 adults has pre-diabetes, with early diagnosis, pre-diabetes can be reversed. Take the risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org to know where you stand.
In very exciting news, the WSU Grizzly Bears are awake and moving. According to the Bears Center, the Bears are officially out of hibernation and have access to the yard. People are welcome to stop by and see the Bears grazing and in the yard rolling around in mud holes. The Bears Center typically does feedings in the morning around 7:30 and then again around 3 in the afternoon. During feedings and cleanings, the staff likes to try and answer questions from the observers, but they said bear care and safety always comes first. It's a slow wake up and they're getting back up to speed, so please bear with them.
Thanks for watching. If you missed anything, you can always watch us on YouTube, on our YouTube channel.
Well, more news can be found on our website, and you can follow us on Facebook and Twitter. You have a good night.